to our Teaching for Success Parent Engagement series. I'm your host, Rosa Kemerembe. Today we're diving deep into a critical but often overlooked topic, the link between sleep and academic success. Let's start with a simple truth. Sleep is not just about rest. It is a biological necessity that fuels every single aspect of a child's development, from cognitive function to emotional stability. Research consistently shows that children who get the recommended hours of sleep perform better academically, exhibit improved focus, and demonstrate stronger problem-solving skills. But what happens when sleep is cut short? The consequences are far-reaching. Lack of sleep doesn't just leave students tired, it directly impairs their ability to learn. When a child is sleep deprived, their brain struggles to retain new information. The hippocampus, the brain's memory center, becomes less efficient at storing knowledge, making it harder for students to recall what they've learned. Beyond academics, sleep deprivation affects emotional regulation, leading to irritability, anxiety, and even symptoms resembling attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Physically, it weakens the immune system, making children more susceptible to illness, which in turn leads to more school absences. So how much sleep do children actually need? The American Academy of Sleep Medicine provides clear guidelines. Please remember that individual needs may vary. Factors like activity level, health conditions, and sleep disorders can influence sleep requirements. But these are the guidelines. Preschoolers ages 3 to 5 should get at least 10 to 13 hours of sleep. That's why they need to go to bed earlier. School-age children, age 6 to 12, need 9 to 12 hours. And teenagers aged 13 to 18 require 8 to 10 hours. Yet, the reality for many students is starkly different. In many communities, children wake up as early as 4 or 5 a.m. to prepare for school, start classes by 6 a.m. and return home late after extra lessons, often not finishing homework until 11 p.m. or midnight, or even later. This means some students are running on as little as 4 to 5 hours of sleep per night. The toll this takes on their health and learning is immense. To put this into perspective, let's compare education systems around the world. Countries like Finland, where school days are shorter and start times are later, consistently rank among the top in global education benchmarks. Finnish students begin school at age 7. They have frequent breaks and enjoy a balanced schedule that prioritizes well-being over excessive classroom hours. Meanwhile, in some high-pressure academic cultures, long school days and heavy workloads are mistakenly equated with success. But the data tells a different story. Sleep-deprived students may spend more time studying, but their ability to absorb and retain information is significantly diminished. How does Uganda perform globally in education, given that most schools have classes that start at 6 a.m.? Think about it. The science is clear. Sleep deprivation triggers a spike in cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. Elevated cortisol levels impair memory. It reduces concentration and even shrinks the brain's gray matter over time. This means that even if a student is physically present in class, their sleep-deprived brain is operating at a fraction of its potential. Furthermore, the brain relies on sleep to consolidate learning. During deep sleep, the brain processes and stores information from the day, transferring it from short-term to long-term memory. So, without adequate sleep, this critical process is disrupted, leaving students struggling to retain what they've been taught. So, what can we do to change this? First, we must advocate for reasonable school hours. A schedule running from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. would allow students to engage in extracurricular activities, whether sports, music, or art, which are just as vital for development as academics. After school, families can create structured routines at home, designated homework time, playtime, and a consistent bedtime that allows for proper rest. One key adjustment is minimizing screen time before bed, and we addressed that last week. The blue light emitted by phones, tablets, and computers suppresses melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep, making it harder for children to fall asleep. Listen up, those of you who give your children iPads before bedtime. Establishing a screen-free hour before bedtime can make a significant difference. Parents also have the power to push for systemic change. We don't have to settle for the status quo. Reach out to school administrators, to your MPs, attend local school board meetings, and even contact policymakers to advocate for later start times and balanced school schedules. Success in education is not about how many hours a student spends in a classroom. It's about how effectively they learn. A well-rested brain absorbs information faster, thinks more creatively, and performs better under pressure. To bring it all together, let's remember this. Sleep is not a luxury. It's a fundamental pillar of learning. It is essential for good health. Every time a child gets a full night's rest, their brain is actively strengthening the neural connections that make learning possible. Without sleep, even the most dedicated students are fighting an uphill battle. So, tonight, as you tuck your child into bed, remember this powerful truth. A well-rested mind is not just a gift. It is the foundation of every success story, every breakthrough, and every bright future. This is your host, Rosa Kemirembe. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, let's teach and rest for success.